Well, happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday. It's time for this weekend's video. Get ready. Today I want to tell you why fear is a terrible advisor. Fear is an element that a lot of contemporary Christianity uses in what they think is, or what they call, the gospel. They use fear to get people to submit to Jesus, accept Jesus, believe in Jesus, obey Jesus, and but then they use that fear to tell you how to spank your kids, and it just gets very ill-advised. Fear is a very poor advisor, and the reason I'm even bringing this up is because this is not about politics, but somebody recently is very well known in the United States, and he said that a religious candidate for president was basically rejected in the primary votes. The voters mostly rejected him, and he did not win, and he had to drop out of the race. And this well-known political commentator is saying that that candidate, that religious candidate, was God's chosen person to become the next president. And he says, because the voters rejected him, the voters are now going to be punished. The country is going to be punished for rejecting him. And he said God's law, basically, is still in effect, and that when we disobey God, there is a punishment. It's just the law. He says when you do what the law tells you to do, there's a blessing, and when you do what the law tells you not to do, then there's a punishment. And that's a huge problem, because the gospel of peace and grace declares that the law of the old covenant, which was only around for about 1400 years, hasn't been around for over 2000 now, or almost 2000 now. And that law was fulfilled and abolished in the body of the Lord Jesus Christ. But even then, if that law were in effect, in order to get any of the blessings, you would have to completely obey all of that law. Because if you break one part of that law, then you're guilty of breaking all of the law. So every blessing that goes with the law, you're not going to get it, because breaking one other law just made you guilty of breaking the law you thought you were going to get a blessing for. You break one commandment, you're guilty of violating every law in the commandments. That's how it works. That's why it's so foolish. That's why you can't just pick and choose what laws you want to obey. And thank God for the good news of the gospel of grace. That law has been abolished. It's just vitally important to understand that fear is a very bad advisor, and those who use fear to get people to do what they want them to do in religion, and they use legal consequences for it, that is no gospel. That is something they may call the gospel, but that is not the gospel. And that is the gospel truth. It's revolutionary, I know. Have a revolutionary week.